Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So today, before I begin my topic, I'd like you to like my video, subscribe to my video, and please share my video. As you know, we all live in a post-truth world, so it'd be really good if you can share this video with as many people as you like and recommend these videos to our friends and family or group members or people that you might know who might be interested in this video. So what I'm going to talk to you guys about today is oppression, discrimination, and racism. Okay, and I have experienced all three. But the people that I've experienced that from would be the surprising part. Most people tend to say, straight white men and upper caste people are the ones that discriminate against you, the one that oppress you, the one that is racist towards you. But the truth be told, I have never. Let me. Before I go on with that statement, I have experienced racism. I have experienced discrimination, and I have experienced discrimination, but I have never experienced it from a straight white man or an upper caste person. Okay, let me say that again. I have experienced racism, discrimination, and oppression, but I have never experienced it from a straight white man or an upper caste person. I have not. When I was much younger, my start in life, okay, my first good start in life was from a straight white guy. And the second time around, him and another straight white guy actually helped me. Okay. I was still a teenager, still working, getting my life together, still a teenager, living away from home in a new city. But, working, going to school, all of these things. And, I was helped by two straight white men. No discrimination from them. And at the time when they helped me, actually, I didn't have the qualification needed. Okay? I did go on by the second time around. I did get the qualification and they took that into consideration. But the first one took a complete chance on me. He saw that I needed help and he gave it to me. Okay. But from there onwards, I gathered extensive knowledge, extensive skills, and extensive experience. But from there onwards, my path took me. Okay. Because of my experiences, I wanted to help people, wanted to work. So I had a more liberal, socialist type outlook on life. Okay? What a fool I was back then. And I think if you look at a lot of people, they start off as liberals and socialists, maybe even Marxist communists, but they move away from that and they were disgusted at themselves for ever following that ideology. Because my experience shows me that the discrimination, the oppression, and the racism that I faced were not from white people, straight white men, or high caste people. Okay? I faced it from people who were woke, who were feminists, who were of visible minorities, socialists, Marxists. Okay? This is where I faced my racism. This is my first experience of racism, discrimination, and racism. Think about that. Okay? I'm not here to debate whether Musk or Trump is racist. Okay? But I can tell you this. If I can do the job and do this job really good and I come with the qualification, okay, and I am the best, they would hire me. I do not doubt that for 1 minute. If I can deliver to them what they need, I do honestly believe that they will hire me. Okay? I do honestly believe that they will hire me. And did you see the conditions that I provided? Okay? If I am the best, I have the qualification, I can do the job and deliver, they will hire me. But many times, numerous times, maybe even every time, I went to places where I had the skills. No, I exceeded the skills. I exceeded the education requirement. I exceeded the abilities. I was, in many cases, I was even performing the job. Think about that. I was even performing the job. But people who were socialists, woke, feminists, Marxists, they brought in their friends, they brought in family members, they brought in their cronies, completely ignoring me. And these were the same people who were talking about what's that term you guys use? Affirmative action. Okay? Affirmative action. These were the people talk about affirmative action. If anybody that needed affirmative action, it would have been me. Because in the area that I worked in, no one there needed. You can say, oh, I needed to give it to a woman because it was a female-dominated environment. They couldn't say, well, you needed to give it to a white guy because I'm not white, but there was basically whites were a minority there. I mean, no matter what you said, but I saw the discrimination there. They either hated you because you were a man, because you did not, you're not effeminate enough as a man, you do not behave effeminately, you did not subscribe to the extreme leftist view, you did not subscribe to their extreme liberal view, you did not subscribe to their woke view, because I have to accept that I've been helped by straight white men. I've not experienced discrimination from them. I have experienced discrimination from people of visible minorities, people that were woke, people that were feminists. This is my experience with racism and discrimination and oppression. The very people that say they are fighting against that actually work really hard to keep you oppressed so that they now can fight for you. They oppress you so that they can claim that they're fighting for you. They don't fight for you. They fight really hard to convince you that you are oppressed while actively oppressing you and making you think that they are fighting for you. Okay? This is what I have realized. At one organization that I worked at, okay, two of us were sitting at the reception area. I went to deal with an irate client, okay? I was new there. I went to deal with an irate client. This other staff, member of the visible minority, female member, feminist organization, okay? Listen to this again. I was dealing with an irate member, trying to calm this individual, a woman, down. And then there was another person. So I'm working. Another person went where they're not supposed to go. This person, this female member who was with me, who was supposed to do that, she was there doing her schoolwork while I'm dealing with this. And then she goes, somebody went there. Why don't you do your job? I was in the act of performing my job. And she, who's using company's resource to do her schoolwork, therefore stealing time, she was stealing time, was now telling me to go do my job while I was performing my work and she was stealing time. And that incident was not investigated. They decided to let me go, even though other staff members were applauding me about the way I dealt with the other individual. So this is what happened. I was discriminated again because a female spoke up who was not doing her job, who was stealing time and doing schoolwork, who was there to do a particular activity. And she did not do it. But yet the first thing she did, because she's working in a feminist organization, and they did not like the fact that I'm not effeminate because I don't come across as effeminate. Okay? I'm a fairly big guy. I'm 6'2" tall. Okay? I don't have effeminate features. I don't behave effeminately. I noticed all the other men in that facility were effeminate. So I was the odd one out. Think about it. I'm in an organization being funded by taxpayers' dollar where I'm the minority in every sense of the word. Okay? I wasn't even white. Imagine what they would do to a white guy who's straight up and who's very masculine. Imagine what they would do to that white person. Okay? And they did not like that about me. Okay? They did not do their job, but I was fired while doing my job, and I was fired because someone who was stealing time and did not like the idea she had to stop stealing time from work and put aside her schoolwork and go perform her job. Cried out, so she went to these feminist bosses, and they decided that they were going to let me go. This is the environment that we have to work in and live in. Okay? Is that not discrimination? Is it not discrimination? Is it not oppression? Okay? It's outright sexism. And there was racism in there because this individual, while she was not white, definitely not a brown person, not even a black person, so I'm kind of eliminating possibilities for you. Also had racist tendency. Okay? Do not tell me that minorities are not racist. Because one time driving out of a gas station, this black individual was blocking the way, and I kept telling him, could you please move aside? Could you please move aside? Could you please move aside so that I can come out? Would not move. This individual was almost in his 60s, and then started cursing me and telling me about my race. You know, we need to talk about these things. You know, racism doesn't come from white people. The vast majority comes from non-white people. Okay? The vast majority comes from non-white people. Okay? So we need to speak about these things. You know, I have experienced racism. I'm not denying it. I have experienced oppression. I have experienced discrimination. But it did not come from white single men, white straight men, and it did not come from upper caste people. It came from socialists, it came from Marxists, it came from leftists, it came from feminists, it came from visible minorities. Okay? Because for them, you have to be a victim and remain a victim, and they have to be your champion. So in other words, they want you to remain oppressed so that their life can have meaning. You have to remain oppressed and go to them and serve them as some sort of savior so that they can feel self-validated. Okay? These people become so entrenched in their ideology that it's about defending and protecting the ideology as opposed to defending and protecting the individual. And they do not realize, I don't know if they realize this or not, or if that they have become so tunnel vision that they think protecting the ideology is about protecting people. Maybe they truly believe this. So, yes, I have experienced discrimination. Yes, I have experienced oppression. Yes, I have experienced racism. And no, it was not from straight white men, and it's definitely not from upper caste people. Think about that. I want you to really think about that. Okay? Think about this. This is what this world has come now. It's a post-truth world where they tell us, where they present an enemy to us who's not our enemy. People who are not oppressing us, who are not discriminated against us, who are not being racist towards us, are now being presented as the perpetrators, even if we do not have any contact with them. And even if the contact we had with them have been that of people helping us, people giving us a leg up in life, a step up in life. So how could I now join movements like wokeism, leftism, feminism, Marxism, socialism, communism, when they seek to keep me oppressed, when they have oppressed me, when they have discriminated against me, and when they have been racist towards me, how can I now seek to respect that? Okay? One of the things I have observed of people trying to help people they considered oppressed. Okay? One of the things I've observed about people seeking to help communities or people they considered oppressed is that they see themselves as superior to those they're helping. Okay? I rather deal with a racist person looking down at me, as rather somebody who's trying to help, who's pretending to help me but keeping me oppressed. Because the person who's treating me outwardly and openly hostile, without lying to me and deceiving me, I know that I have to be careful of that person. But that's not how the Marxists, socialists, communists, feminists, wokeist people move. That's not how they move. They oppress you. They repress you. They discriminate against you. But they present themselves as your helpers, as your saviors. And they put the blame on another. More specifically, they blame straight white men and upper caste people. Think about that. This has been my experience. And this has been the experience of a lot of people that I've spoken to. So brothers and sisters, I want you to share this video as far and wide as possible, because this is a truth that is not spoken of. Okay? It is a truth that is not spoken of. And people are becoming afraid to speak. Okay? In my next video, I'm going to talk to you about this again in a liberal, conservative, socialist, Marxist, feminist, wokeist movement in a university setting. I'm going to tell you guys about how they try to stifle my freedom of expression in a university setting. Okay? Take care. Before I go, please subscribe to this video. Please share it. Please like it. And please recommend it. Okay? Let us reclaim the truth now.